Hey again. Welcome back, everybody. We're excited to have you here with us at CanJam SoCal 2023. I have the one and only Jude with me and TSAV Jason, and we are just going to share our experiences right now about this CanJam and chat a little bit. And how have you been, man? It's good to see you. Always a pleasure, brother.
Doing well, Marcello.
Always
Thanks,
a pleasure.
Man. Good to see you too, Jason.
Always good to see you.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about this event this year. This has been huge, like massive. I mean, even bigger than last year, CanJam SoCal. How's it been for you guys?
Yeah, this one's busy. I always have a slightly different perspective on it because I end up usually getting into long conversations because I'm catching up with a lot of people. And so I don't pay as much attention to what's going on around me. So yesterday at one point, after a conversation, I looked around, I was like, okay, this is really crowded. And so I think this one will probably be one of our biggest shows, if not our biggest show. It's hard to say. We have to look at the...
Tally all the final numbers.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What has been like some of your key takeaways from this event, like, or maybe just some stuff that you just really loved that you've got to... I know it's hard, right? Because you're kind of working also at the same time.
Yeah.
For me, everybody's like, what did you love, Marcello? I'm like, well, I love talking to people because I haven't had a chance to really do my listening stuff yet, but that's always the highlight for me. But have you had any specific highlights for you so far?
Yeah, one of them I think is, it was interesting. I was talking to some of the cable guys, and they were saying that their show, here at this show specifically, there was more interest in over-ear headphone cables than they expected. But it's also kind of true when you think about it, like, because for a while it seemed like everything was going to go IEM and everybody was going to stop using over-ear headphones.
Right.
But the over-ear headphone thing is making, like, there's some big launches and some important over-ear headphones that are being launched, or launched recently that are now here at the show.
Yep.
So
and some behind the scenes that we can't talk about that are going to be launching real soon too.
Yeah, I've heard some.
So some cool stuff on the horizon for everybody out there. What about you, Jason? What are some of the most interesting things for you?
I was kind of wanting to hear the new RAW.
The new RAW,
yeah, but it wasn't finished enough for it to be here at the show. I originally thought it was going to be here, so that was something I was kind of bummed didn't make it. But there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out.
Yep.
And I'm, I'm kind of in the same position as Jude. It's been meetings, or it's been, people grabbing you as you're walking down, and it's like you're talking to everybody. So it's, for me, CanJam is kind of like getting to visit old friends.
Yeah.
Because totally. I don't get to see Jude but once or twice a year.
That's pretty much it.
And so there's a lot of people that I kind of enjoy, and Jude's gang, Joe and Brian and all these guys, they're always a riot, and so I always enjoy hanging out with these guys, and they can give as good as I get, they can receive and give back as good as I can put it out, right? So it's just, for me, this is like fun, but I got to tell you, Jude, I think this is probably your best attendance.
It might be.
I think it's better than last year, and last year was your record breaker.
Yeah, I think so too. Because if you look, like now the room is entirely filled up. There's not even any furniture in here other than what's in the exhibits. So yeah.
So I haven't really had anything that I could tell you that I have sat down with and thought was extraordinary. There are things that people already know that I liked a lot. I mean, we all here kind of like that Yamaha.
Yeah.
And that's and then we all agree that the three of us agree that the suede pad is the better pad of the two if you want it to be less, offensive on the top end, because it can get a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I actually strongly prefer it with the suede, but I can see how someone might appreciate both.
Yeah, if they like that extra crispiness.
Yeah,
I like both. I just think it's about synergy. So the leather to me can sound really fantastic, especially off of like the WA22 from Woo is an amp that I personally own, and so when pairing it with that, and I changed out the tubes to even drive more of a dynamic, impactful sound to it. And I think when listening to it through a warm tube amplifier, I kind of like the tightness of the base of the leather and a little bit more extension. But on a solid state, the amp that might be more neutral in performance or presentation, I definitely like the suede.
Yeah, the Yamaha amp isn't bad.
Oh no, and honestly, that Yamaha amp, you can tell that it was tuned. And in speaking with Derek from Yamaha today, it was, so the headphone came first, and then the Yamaha was after. The new amp was after. So they specifically, when they implemented the ESS chip basically out of that unit, and all of the design and everything else and the transformers, they were basically trying to create the optimal sound with that amplifier and DAC for those headphones. And so I listen off both ear pads with that amp, and it sounds good with both. So I think it really depends on what you're pairing it with too. And also your preferences. Just overall preferences are also a big part of everything that we do in this hobby. So,
well, obviously we all three like a little bit warmer presentation.
Yeah, neutral warm is usually the way I like to roll.
But I do like, what I liked out of it particularly was the sound stage is really it seems very accurate to me. It doesn't seem like it's like an 800S is a little expanded, or some feel a little constricted and narrow in their sound fields, right? This one actually feels it's a very comfortable sound stage for me in terms of, instrument presentations and placement.
Right.
It just felt very natural, so I liked it.
Yeah. We didn't have much time with this stuff, as you know. It was kind of short, so maybe at some point
I pushed on them as hard as I could.
Yeah, I know. So hopefully, we'll have a chance, a greater crack at it, because I definitely want to spend more time at it. I just realized when I said crack at it, it sounded like crack at it.
You're good.
Okay.
Now we have plenty of those in government.
So another thing that I'm excited about, I don't know if it's going to work out, but we'll see, because I have the Ask the Reviewer panel coming up later today. But if there's time, I am excited to go listen to the Sennheiser HE1, because I've never heard that. So that's like a bucket list headphone for me to hear, the whole system, you know? So I'm very excited about that. So hopefully I'm not too tired and I get everything done, and then I can do that at the end of the day, because I don't know when I'll get another chance to listen to that.
It'll wake you up.
That's what I keep hearing. Is like, no matter what, it doesn't matter if you're tired, it doesn't matter whatever, get over there and hear it, because it's pretty epic sounding, is from what everybody says. So.
It is.
So I'm excited about that. And then we have a question for Jude. It says, curious, let me throw it up on here so you can see it a little easier. What are your top 3 headphones of all time? That's a tough question. And what what each of your best of shows are? Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Best of show. Like, what is this year best of shows that you heard?
Oh man, I didn't listen to that much this year, but I guess I'll try to think of something. But my top 3 headphones of all time. That's the first one's easy. That's the Sennheiser HE1.
Okay. Now I really have to hear it.
Yeah, that's I still think that's the best headphone ever made. My second has to be the Sennheiser Orpheus, the original HE90, HEV90. Okay. And wish I had one of those as well. That would be a lovely thing to have. The third is kind of a nostalgic choice, and this isn't any sort of answer about its technical prowess or its sound quality, because in terms of that, for example, the Aperio, which I've only spent some time with auditioning. I got to say that's crazy impressive. I would say though my third favorite is the Sony MDR V6.
Okay.
And the reason I named that one, it's because it was the headphone that sort of got me started in all of this when I was a teenager. And it wasn't even the one that I really wanted. I think I've told the story before. I wanted an AKG K240DF, but my mom said...
She said no.
She said I didn't. She asked me how much money I had, and I told her how much money I had. And she asked how much the AKG was. I told her how much it was. She goes, "Doesn't sound like you have enough money." And so I bought...
As moms will.
Yeah, so I bought the Sony MDR V6. And I think it was from Crutchfield.
Okay.
And I used it for many years until my brother broke it. But it was... so I keep an unopened one in my office behind me.
I'm trying to remember that one. Didn't that have a kind of a big mid-bass hump in it?
It probably did. I haven't listened to it in ages, but it was but at the time it was the best sounding thing I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
When I got it?
I get it from a nostalgia. That's how I feel about like the HD 650 too. It's like it was the first headphone that I really fell in love with.
Yeah, so. I would say that's certainly a more technically sound headphone than probably my MDR V6. And then I have the same thing. Like I have an old AKG K340. Maybe one of the most unnecessarily complex headphones ever made. And I don't know, it measures horrible, but I love the way it sounds, but that might just be nostalgia too. Yeah.
And then what about your best of shows? If you're not this year, maybe from last year, if you didn't have a lot of time this year.
Best of show. Well, this year I heard the Austrian audio headphone.
Okay.
That was surprisingly good. It was kind of like they made this jump from like affordable monitors, right. One of which I heard that I wasn't super crazy about, and then they jumped into this more premium space. I think it's in the $2,700 range or something like that, and it was actually quite good. I'd like to spend more time with it, kind of get a handle on the where the treble is for me specifically, but overall the balance was really impressive, at least in the show environment.
Right.
I just heard somebody told me, I think when I was listening to the Austrian audio, somebody told me I had to listen to the Noble Spartacus, and I'd never heard that one. and it has a mid-range bone conduction driver.
Ooh, interesting.
So it's the second one I've heard that has it. The first one was at CanJam London last month, or now we're in October, so 2 months ago, I guess. And there was a company called Canper. I think Music Tech has Canper here.
Okay.
And it had a mid-range bone conduction driver by Sonian. That was the first one I heard with it, and it was really, really good. And so, and they were this quiet little exhibit because they didn't have any signage or anything,
Right.
so nobody was really stopping by, or not enough people. Then I heard it late in the show. I told Cameron Golden Sound, you got to hear this, and he was like, "Yeah, this is really good." And then more people started listening to it when he started listening. So anyway, then I heard the Spartacus today. And yeah, man, for the price, I thought that was good. It's sold out. I'm not surprised.
Well, there you go. It's a great question. Thank you, Joe. Let me add that so other people know what we were talking about. And then it says, okay, so, and is this for? I would assume this is for Jude.
Yeah.
What amp DAC setup do you use for your personal setup? I mean, you got a lot.
Yeah, that's a
loaded question.
That is a loaded question. So yeah, because like as I've said before, I think our office looks like the audio floor of Yodobashi camera exploded in there. But or the Source AV. Anyway, so I mean the Sennheiser HE1 is my favorite. I don't use it as often as I.
You have that in the office?
Yeah, we have it in the office.
Man,
and
that's crazy.
So
cool.
I would use that more often.
Yeah.
But when you're listening to other things, I mean this when I say it. I don't mean this as hyperbole. When you listen to it, and then you listen to something else, it's not really. It's kind of like if you go to like Warwick and you listen to the Bravura. I would start with the Bravura, not the Aperio.
Right.
You start with the Aperio. The Bravura might not be as impressed because the Bravura is really, really good. But anyway. So I try not to listen to it that much when I'm supposed to be listening to other things or giving opinions on other things. And then let's see what else. Oh, and then I just picked up a Mass Kobo 475. That's a fun one. Chord Hugo 2 is still my reference portable DAC amp. And then the Chord Lena stuff I use a lot, and that's a great reference stack.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then Kevin wants to know.
Did I say Lena, Chord Lena, DCS Lena?
That's what
DCS Lena.
DCS Lena. Yeah. And then Kevin asked you. I guess he asked you this maybe last year when you streamed with me. He said, "Any chance of CanJam coming to Canada?"
That actually would not be an unreasonable. So we get a lot of traffic from Canada, and we tend to do the shows where we can support it with traffic from the website.
Right. So get your friends to get on there from Canada.
No, we have a lot from Canada, but it's not out of the question. We'd have to look more carefully at what the numbers look like.
There's a lot of expense that goes into putting a show like this.
Yeah, and so we'd have to look at that. And then I saw another question I thought was interesting. Joe's.
Where's Joe's? This one?
Yeah. What CanJam is more enjoyable for you personally, CanJam Singapore or CanJam SoCal?
Yeah.
Singapore is pretty cool.
Singapore is pretty cool. So Singapore is a great show, and I love it for. There's a certain intensity with the Singapore audience. They're really into, especially IEMs, like maybe no other place in the world.
Right.
It's like and they're super sophisticated.
Do you think even more than Japan?
Oh, I would say, yeah. Actually, I would say that. I mean, they're right there.
Right.
Maybe together. I would have to give the edge. I'd say Singapore, and because they're like intense, and I love that intensity. And then there's a lot of friendships there as well. But California for me also is, and I'm copping out and saying it's kind of a tie because I love them both so much for different reasons. Because I have friends there as well. But here, I've known a lot of the people in SoCal. Like we've been doing HeadFi meets here in California for as long as I can remember. And so I come here and I see people that I only see, that I've known for like 20 years, 15 years, that I only see here. And so that part means a great deal to me. So I'd say I love them equally for different reasons. That's a total cop-out answer right now.
I think Rob Watts was just saying he was in Singapore recently and he got to do like Formula One.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's in those Formula One. I am too, but
sounds amazing.
Although this season
I like the Netflix show, but I haven't got to see it live.
Yeah.
Actually, I did once when I was a kid with my dad, but that was a long time ago. Okay, cool. So keep your questions coming. We're going to go. We have a hard cutoff time at 2, so we have about 5 more minutes. What else you guys want to talk about for CanJam this year until we have another question or two?
Let's see.
Do you have a favorite panel that you got to watch, like educational
so
stuff?
I've seen 2. I only saw 2, and I saw the measure.
Are you going to come to mine?
I have a meeting.
You're gonna jeer me from the back?
I apologize. I have a meeting. I have a meeting at that time.
I'm
so
kidding.
sorry. No, I would love to go because that's the panel, right?
Yeah.
It'll be so crowded anyway because it's all the popular reviewers.
It's gonna be interesting. But anyways, what were your favorites? You went to the 2.
I went to the Measurement Myths one, and then that was good. And then I caught the tail end of Sean Olive's just because I had another meeting or just a couple of meetings, and then I watched the entire presentation from Vince Ray from Brule and Care.
Okay.
Long story short, it's measurements and human perception. That's not the name of it, but I think it's a very important topic, and he covered some very important discussions, which we'll be talking about as well on HeadFi more, about measurements and human perception.
Yeah, because measurements, you don't always get the full picture of what a measurement reads out to what we hear.
And that's what Vince was saying, and I don't want to ruin his words, but something along the lines of what we measure doesn't always correlate. In fact, a lot of times it does not correlate with what we percip as humans.
Yeah, sometimes it's just way off the mark. It
can be. He showed some examples of it with some audio tracks. Yeah.
I always tell people, just listen to it. That's the only way you can really tell.
It's the best way. Yeah. Yeah, nothing replaces a good in-store or in-home demo or at CanJam in as quiet a space as you can. What I really love is those Warwick booths. I kicked this off with live streaming, and I said, the future to me is that there's one of those every so many sections, and I know they're expensive, but wouldn't it be fantastic if each setup area had at least one of those, so you could just
That would actually be ideal. I think that would be ideal.
Wouldn't it be cool?
If every exhibit had one. Of course, there'd be lines, for the popular exhibits, but
you don't always have to use one. But let's say you're looking at a $6,000 headphone or $5,000 headphone, and you want to buy it then. You're gonna wait in line to really hear it in that quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I would.
Yeah, I think the obviously at a show like this, the closed back headphone makers and in-ear guys have a bit of an advantage.
They sure do. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's add this one so I can see it better. I'm squinting. I'm like, oh yeah, just click the button.
I'm squinting too.
With emerging market of reviewers tuning and designing headphones, is there a Jude collaboration in the future? That's an interesting question.
No. I've been asked to do things like that for many, many years, and we try in that sense to stay
neutral.
Stay out of it. I have no issue with people doing it, so don't construe that as some answer in which I have any issue with it. No, I don't. I'm just not going to do one. No, so it'll likely never happen. Yeah.
But isn't that more of a signature approach? In other words, this reviewer likes this, and so he had it tuned to his taste. This reviewer had this taste, and so they all have their own signature.
Well, I think some of the collaborations, they sound different. They don't all sound the same. So it's whatever the goal was at the time that he was trying, that the collaborator was trying to voice.
Right.
Yeah. That's not going to happen. So
I will say though, I think that you showed the DMS headphone. I think it's pretty cool that a reviewer is transitioning from reviewing products into becoming a maker, and I was very happy for him, in that sense. I was proud.
Did you hear it?
No, I haven't heard it. I haven't had a chance,
good.
but I just was. I don't know. I felt a lot of pride for him, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's good, and the response to it's been good.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's see. Let me add this. It says, just got my BMW PX7 S2E. Oh man, I've been listening to the PX7 too for a hot minute, and those are my go-to wireless headphones. So I'm interested to hear the new one too. Early days, but mighty impressed on first listen straight out of the box.
Hey, appreciate the recommendation because I have not heard that. But
actually, we sell quite a bit of them.
Do you?
Yeah, we even sell a lot of the James Bond version. I was kind of surprised.
You know what's still good? It's totally discontinued. Was the Bowers & Wilkins, I think, don't hold me to the model. I thought it was the P7 wireless, their first Bluetooth P7.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
That one, we pulled that out of the archive not that long ago, and it was.
That whole P7 category, and now all the way up to it's a good value too. The pricing is $329. I don't know what the new one costs. Maybe a little more. I don't know, but for a great like Bluetooth wireless headphone that you want to travel with or work out with or whatever, or just in the office, it's a great little headphone.
Yeah, B&W always a cool aesthetic too. Except I really do like the old classic P5, P7.
The headband.
The steel
Yep.
wire.
Okay, let's see. Joe would like to know, do you think you would ever add an online store to the HeadFi website, headphone audio retailer?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't want it.
I don't think that, even if I wanted to do it, which I don't, first of all, let's say I wanted to do it, I'm just way too old to take on that endeavor, and I have no experience in retail. Well, that's not true. I worked in an audio store as a sales guy when I was in college, but at a hi-fi store.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, maybe in this room.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I'm not interested in doing that. I mean, fulfillment and all that. I mean, I would.
It's a lot of work.
We'd have the worst reviews. If I ran a store, it would have the worst reviews. People would accuse us of, like taking too long. I would be terrible at it. So
or you get accused of shilling like I did when I brought out the.
I get accused of that anyway. But anyway, so no, I no. So thanks, Joe, for asking the question. But no.
All right, we're at 2:00. Do we have anything else we want to talk about or close with?
What's that? 379 UK.
Oh, another one just popped up.
Oh no, I think he's clarifying price on.
Thank you so much.
On the P7,
that's for
on the
UKP. So on USD, yeah, maybe 2 or 349, maybe US.
Yeah.
I imagine it must be a little more, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll find out. I'll look it up. So what else do we want to say? Anything else left to close with, guys? Or
no, I'm gonna go listen to more stuff.
Yeah, I have one more live stream coming up.
Wait, there's one. Let's see.
No question. Just wanted to let's add this. Just wanted to thank Jude for putting on such a great show, and thank you to TSAV and Marcello for live streaming. For those of us who couldn't attend, much appreciate. Thank you, Christopher. We appreciate you for watching, man. And yeah, one of these days I'm going to see you down here, either at the store or at one of these CanJams. So thank you so much for tuning in and all your support.
Thanks, Christopher. And Kevin said something nice too.
Yeah, let's see. Says thank you for the coverage, Marcello, TSAV, and Jude, for your time and knowledge. Very much appreciated. Thank you. And Kevin, thank you so much. And we have one more, so don't go anywhere, guys. We have one more coming up with Sennheiser, Eric from Sennheiser, and that's going to be in about 30 minutes at 2:30.
Oh,
he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's been doing the HE1 demos.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere. We're going to definitely talk about the HE1 and Sennheiser in general. I'm a huge Sennheiser fan. I think I own four of their headphones currently. Gosh, that's a lot of their headphones. So don't go anywhere because that's going to be a fun one. So stay tuned. We're gonna say goodbye from CanJam for now, or not really goodbye. See you soon. Yeah. So in about 30 minutes. And Jude, thank you so much.
Thank you, Marcello.
Yeah, and Jason, thanks
Jason.
also.
Good to see you.
And stay tuned. We'll see you soon. We'll keep dropping that next link. Will be in the CanJam SoCal 2023 impressions thread on HeadFi, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.